People, deluded, I'm back again. Now, obviously, with the Premier League and the Europa League campaigns, Arsenal season is officially over. I'd like to score Emery out of 10. And I've done it before. And people, I can't lie. What I'm about to say is why I don't listen to people's opinions, because I can't speak for everybody and things. But I like to I think carefully before I say things or before I take a point of view, and I'm always welcome to information. I know football's a funny old game. Um, Depending on the backdrop of football, the landscape, it can sway opinions. But I think people are too emotional and don't look at things in both sides. Everything's been all doom and gloom of recent at Arsenal. Everything was all happy when we're 22 unbeaten. When most people doing that, but some of us that were seeing both sides could say yes, there's positives, but there's also papering over cracks. And I'm stand here again to say I give you Emery a 5 out of 10. There's been moments that have been 7 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 moments individually, and as a team, consistently it hasn't been there. I'm prepared to concede a 6 at a push. Now, how many times, people? There's no way we can't give it we can't give it a 5. I mean, if you go and look at when I was on Supporters Club, shout out to Turkish and Arsenal Fan TV for that one. But I was on it and I gave him a 5 out of 10. If you go and watch that video and people are like, oh, you must be really deluded, oh, this and that. It's because I said this. I said there are some benefits. Big games, we are doing our thing. Emery, I think the mentality and all the things he's trying to install, I give him time, man. I really believe in Emery. I think even if you look at the Europa League, for example, he gave talks before the game. You even saw it coming out. He's giving huddles and stuff the day before. He's given the tactics, but he can't go out there and play. He set us up well. We started well for half an hour. Yes, he could have changed stuff and done things differently, but that's all on the players. The players have bottled it time and time again, like they did in the Premier League. We had good periods in March and probably the start of the start of the year or whenever we was doing decent. We had a couple of decent periods, but when the going got tough, we weren't there. So again, I more blame the players than it is Emery. But you've got to ask questions of everybody. Like I said on that episode, to walk out with 5 out of 10 in his first season, considering the playing staff and what he's gone through, isn't the worst of results. There's a platform to build. I think he's got to change a lot. For me, probably take the handbrake off a bit more, probably settle on a certain sort of primary way of playing, and then deviate and tailor towards big games, because he's got the big games, excluding the Chelsea one yesterday, relatively well. Small teams, we can probably be a bit more assertive, but he's probably got to marry the two together. So probably that is the one thing I'd say with Emery. But at the same time, top four and the Europa League was our target in the summer. Whether we was going to get it or not is another thing. And Emery guided us to the final. I think he done very well in that. But by the same token, as much as I think he's done well and should be praised for getting us to the final, can we also say that's minimum expectations? Us and Chelsea, no disrespect to our other sides, but we're seeing as two of the biggest teams in it and should have been going there. So it's business as usual. In fact, even against Atletico, we should have played better. We was expected to go to the final last year, so we should have. Top four, it weren't really going to happen, so how can you judge a man on that? But we all know the players let us down, but to find themselves in the position we was in, where we could have got top four via the Premier League, we capitulated. Emery, one thing he was guilty of is probably resting players unnecessarily and chopping and changing at key periods. And as much as I blame the players to only need one win against Chelsea in the Europa League, against Leicester, against Wolves, against Palace, against Everton, and Brighton in the Premier League, and to bottle them all, it's not just on the players. You have to ask questions of the manager and the players. I'm sure Emery has learned a lot, not just about his players, but about himself. It's been a testing season. I think he's got his tactics and his game management spot on 9 times out of 10. But by the same amount, how many good examples I have, there's also been times where it hasn't been. There's also been times where I feel he set us up a bit probably too negative and could assert ourselves. But I don't blame him for having the handbrake if these players are going to let you down consistently defensively. He can be a bit more expansive. We know the player busts up and things like that were kind of watermarks or marks on his sheet. So I'll give him a 5 out of 10, man. There's been stuff to move forward with this season, but we need to come a long way. Next season, there's going to be a bit more criticisms, because I do, as much as I like the fact that he tailors to the opposition, I feel at times there's been a lot of chopping and changing. We've seen cams on the wings, we've seen different sort of things we need to kind of settle. One thing, the lowest mark I'd probably give him, if it was out of 10, I'd give him a 3 out of 10 out for young players. I don't feel young players have played enough. Yes, it's been a tough season, it's been a troubling season and things like that. But if you look at the youth, it's Guendouzi and Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles is playing not because he's not good, because clearly Emery believes in him, but he's playing because there's been an injury at fullback. He'll take it, but is he playing because Emery's seen that he's ready for a chance? Don't know. Guendouzi came in and he's been played quite well in the grand scheme of things. But a lot of the youth statistics will probably be screwed to him. Again, we don't know if these young players are good enough, but especially how we played this season and how we've been in general, you would have thought some would have been given a bit more opportunities. And Unai Emery is still my man for the job. I can't believe I'm seeing Emery out stuff. But I will say this though, if you remove Arsenal's situation and things like that, and you look at where we was, should we say April, where we really bottled the top four. If you look at where we was people in April, and the fact that we was there, we done our thing in the top games against Spurs and United in that week, but we was there to come out of the top four, losing the games we did, and if we lost the Europa League in the 4-1 fashion we did. If that's another manager, or if you remove Arsenal and Unai Emery, would people not ask question marks of that manager? Probably his job could even be on the line. Now, I'm not saying to sack managers and things. I'm showing people why you should be objective and look at both things, people. And I was telling you, look, it's a 5 out of 10. Now seeing, oh, you must really be deluded. Oh, this and that. Oh, there's no way you can give higher than a 5 or a 6 at a push. You can't, because it hasn't been that season. It would have been a 10 out of 10 if we got Europa League and got top 4 in that. But, and like I said, it's the players, because even the front three, I'm very upset with the front three, to be fair with you, in Ozil, Aubameyang and Lacazette. I know Ozil, the strikers have delivered for us a lot of times, so they'll get allowed, and people have made their minds up about Ozil and will play favourites, but all three are appalling for me. But this is why I don't listen to opinions, people, like other people's opinions, really and truly, because whether right or wrongly, I know my thing is coming from a place of sincereness, and to see all of them, please just go and I think it's supporters club. How much would you rate Unai Emery and whatnot? And people are saying, oh, a 5 is average, a 5 is this and that. A 5, if I was Unai Emery, like I said then, to come out of this season with a 5 out of 10 with 50%, I'd be cool, because you've been through a lot. There's been 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10 moments. Equally, there's been 2 out of 10s. I think if you look at the percentages, yes, Unai Emery's made some mistakes tactically this season, and just human error, because he is human. But 99% of it, in my opinion, has been the players. Whether it's mentality, whether it's Unai Emery can give you all the tactics, can give you all the things you want in the world. It's a final. I'm sorry, people. It's a final. It's the one thing where all rules are off, people. Hazard's playing his last game for Chelsea. Chelsea won 4-1. You would have thought Chelsea again. Chelsea were the side that were playing to be in the Champions League and had not had everything to lose from this game. 4-1, did they really get out of second gear, really and truly? If you ask Chelsea fans, I'm pretty sure they'll say no. Yeah, Hazard did some nice dribbles, and I think Giroud had a good second half. But did Chelsea really play amazing for that? No. They were probably let's be kind. I'll be kind. I genuinely think Chelsea weren't even at 50%, maybe 60, 50, 40 to 60%. And they're walking away with a 4-1 victory. Kepa was a bit shaky. Did we test him, people? You see what I'm saying? And another thing, Emery has. When I said goals are clouding our game, people laughed at me. They are. We've got 2 gunmen strikers up front. We had how many shots yesterday? We had 2 on target. Cup final, 2 on target. So in terms of game planning and attacking play, not even attacking play, just damn right taking chances, there are some work to be done. I don't know for no one in it, but I'm not one of these YouTubers who has agendas or has anything to gain from popularity of scapegoating certain players or getting buzz clicks and things like that. I effing love my football club. I love my football club above any player, above anything else. I love my football. I love you guys. So I'm never just going to chat nonsense. I'm going to come from a place of, at least if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And you lot present me different information, I'll be like, cool. But no one can tell me it's not 5 out of 10. When I know my thing, I know my thing. And this is why I don't listen to no opinions, especially strangers. No disrespect to none of you, but I don't know none of you. So this is why. Because I know most of you ain't played football. Most of you don't really understand football. Not that I understand any more or less than you lot. But if you understood certain things, certain comments I wouldn't be seeing. But on that note, I'm going to keep it pushing, man. People, deluded, I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking, man. It's been a hard season and it was a hard night last night for us. So your consistent support means the world to me personally, people. And like I said, as much as I love Emery, if you remove his situation, if any other manager bottled the top 4 or any team consistently bottled the top 4 in the position we found ourselves in and lost in the fashion we did last night, you'd be asking questions. And if that's at PSG, he loses his job. And like I said, when Emery took the job, I don't feel he's someone that wants to be comfortable. But this job can kind of give you a handbrake, because before you talk about Emery and his tactics, I've done it. I've spoken about the two strikers. You're going to speak about Ozil. You're going to speak about the pen. You're going to speak about several things. So that's a sort of luxury that he's kind of been afforded with where we are as a football club as well, people. But it's ridiculous, man. It was a ridiculous performance last night. It's been a 5 out of 10 season. Like I said, man, there's some things we can build upon. Especially one thing I think Emery improved us on in a couple aspects defensively is set pieces, conceding and taking them. That appears to have deserted our play in the last however many games left of the season, 8 to 10 games or whatever. They might not even, anything from 5 to 10 games. I don't even know at this point. But people, I'm gonna get out of here. Deluded. Thank you for watching and rocking consistently. It means the world, man. I'm out.